This morning, I have Mrs. Martin, who's fifth grade teacher at Fulton Elementary School. Thanks for agreeing to talk to me about our steamer-to-steamer quarantine and how to survive, or what to do during it, and really not how to survive, because we're all learning that.
Right.
Appreciate the time today.
No problem. Thank you.
So, Mrs. Martin, tell us a little bit about what you've learned about yourself or about school since we've started the quarantine.
I would say that routines and schedules are super, super important. It's a challenge being a teacher anyways, with 20 some different levels and abilities, but then you add that to being in your own home where you can't actually sit with those kids and you have your own children that you're trying to guide as well. I found that having routines and schedules is very, very important so that we know whose things are getting done when, so we're not walking all over each other. So that's been really important. I think I've also learned that it's okay to take a break. I know early on I think I had a meltdown more than my kids did. And I just had to say, I need you to just go away from me. I need you to go outside and play. And they were really nervous. Like, we have homework. What are we supposed to do? I said, it's fine. Breaks are okay. Like I had to finally realize that it's okay to just stop, walk away, and come back to it a little bit later. And that, I think, has been the best for my own kids, but for the kids that I work with at the elementary as well, for them to know too that, you know, it's okay. Mrs. Martin needs a break and we need a break. And if we don't get everything done right away, it's okay. And it will still be there for us tomorrow.
Yeah. A couple people have used the word sort of self-grace, or giving yourself grace, and we kind of get driven. And yeah, I agree. It's been a good reminder from a lot of people during these little conversations. I've really learned a lot from everybody willing to do this. What have you learned from others about the quarantine or adapting?
I think everybody has a little bit different take on it. And some people, I think, are frustrated with it. And some people are just going with the flow of what's happening. But I think more importantly, I think it's been an opportunity to be able to reach out and to support one another and to lean on one another. You hear the phrase all the time, it takes a village to raise a child. And I think that has really shown through in this. Like, parents are realizing that they have to step up and help out, and teachers are realizing we have to reach out a little bit more. I think we get into the mindset that we're in the classroom and we deal with those kids, and yes, we speak to parents and we help them, but I feel like we've really had to step that up a little bit more since we've been at home, because parents aren't used to this. They're not used to having to help their kids every day. So I think just knowing that, we all have to support each other and work together. I think that has been really, really important. That has come through during this time. And I do feel that the communication has become more open between parents. And I think that's been great. Like, I think parents need to hear, it's okay. I talked to a parent the other day and I said, it's okay that, you don't know how to do all of this, because we're learning this as we go too. So I think that's been really important, is just being more open and supporting one another, probably more than we do normally when we're in our own classrooms.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's. So I know you have you have some kids at home. What's it like helping them as the parent versus the teacher? Or is it easy to sort of be a parent and a teacher, or is it, I guess, what sort of comes first, the parent part of you or the teacher part of you?
It's funny because I've had to really kind of find that fine line. It's been really nice to be home with my own kids and to be able to support them and help them a little bit more than I normally would.
Yeah.
When they're in a classroom with another teacher. But we've had some moments of they're finding out that teacher mom is probably not always the best. I know my son said the one day, I'm the only one in my class that has everything caught up. And I'm like, that's okay. Like, it's okay to be that way. I'm a list maker, so I make them a list every day. Like, these are the things you have to do today. And we try to it's hard because I have an 8th grader and a 4th grader and then a preschooler. And so we try to do, you know, like one of them right away in the morning and then the other one maybe a little bit later in the day to kind of break it up so that I can still be there for my students as well. My 8th grader is more, we'll do it at 10 o'clock tonight. And I'm like, no, we're doing it now. Like we need to get this done because at 10 o'clock tonight, I'm tired and I don't want to focus on that. So they, I think, have found that maybe having a mom that's a teacher isn't always the best because I think I probably expect a little bit more out of them than I might out of other people's kids. I also have found that it's much easier in my mind to work with 100 other people's kids than my own kids because we tend to butt heads a little bit more. So it's been a learning experience.
Well, I appreciate that. So is there anything you miss most about having to, you know, stay inside and be quarantined?
I would definitely say just people. I mean, I feel like I still have interactions with people and I talk to parents, I talk to kids, but being able to be with them face to face and be able to help them and really see like my students understand something or that, you know, that light bulb moment go on where they're like, oh, I get it now. And I really miss that. And I also miss working, just being in our normal environment and being around, you know, my peers and the coworkers that I work with. And it's just different. Not that my family doesn't know what it's like, but they're not teachers, they're not educators. So it's different when you are with those people compared to just being at home, you know, with your family. So I do miss that.
Yeah. I feel fortunate that, you know, I definitely miss the interaction, but having, you know, the administrators to interact with, you know, having started, this is my 4th week of doing this. So I've had some really fun conversations with people, you know, at a different level than we would have before. And this has been a lot of fun. I miss the people for sure. Is there anything you've gained because of this that you feel like, oh boy, this has really been a good thing for us?
I think it's given us, at least me, a chance to kind of slow down. Like I feel like in my classroom, I'm on the go. I feel like from the minute I walk in the morning till the minute I walk out at the end of the day, like I'm on the go and I don't take the time to really like invest in other programs and opportunities that are out there that might benefit our kids and whether my own kids or the kids that I work with. So I feel like it has slowed down in a sense that I do have the time to kind of branch out and find those things. So I've spent a lot of time looking at some new programs and some new activities that I'm looking forward to putting into place once we are back into the classroom. So, I mean, that part I think has been really beneficial. It's one of those things where we have those early release times and we have those times to look at it, but I don't feel like you get as deep into something as you would. So I feel like being home, I've had the opportunity to really dig into some of those things. And I think that's been really good.
Yeah. What do you do to take care of yourself?
To be honest, I've really enjoyed being with my own kids when it's not school time. So to be able to just, sit back and watch a movie with them or be outside, just watching them play or ride their bikes. We've taken walks. We have gotten our swimming pool opened, which is like the earliest we've ever done that.
Wow.
We have a heater on it, so our kids have already been in swimming. So being able to watch them do that has been fun. But I just think just being able to take a step back and be mom versus just teacher all the time.
Yeah, on the go.
Has been really good.
Yeah, that has been fun. One of my kids just graduated pharmacy school.
Okay.
She recently got married, and her husband's in the Air Force. He's a Marine Corps pilot in the Marine Corps pilot program. And so, when she finished school, the idea was go down and be with her husband. But because of her coming from out of the area, it might require him to be quarantined. And so his training schedule would be off. And so they're putting up a pause on that. So she gets to hang out with us for a few more weeks, which has really just been a lot of fun. And so, I think we've all kind of have a way different perspective. I hope we can keep that perspective after this too.
Yes, I hope so too.
I was just talking with the teacher and he said, unfortunately, the lessons we learn, we lose pretty quickly sometimes. So I hope we don't. I hope we don't.
Well, and I question, once this is all over, I think it's going to be a totally new normal. So
yeah.
You do hope that some of these things
Yeah.
stick around and the lessons that we've learned stick with us and we continue doing these things.
And again, like you said, the new normal, I think it's going to be still a super phased in, slow. It's like, there's no switch that's going to go back to the way it was. So
Right.
Yeah, you're right. I think we'll continue to dig deeper roots into this sort of pace, if you will, in some way. So do you have a favorite, you sort of mentioned hanging out with your kids and watching some different television shows, or are there been any social media people you started following, or shows or books or whatever that's new that you picked up during the quarantine?
I do follow, well, and I followed it for a while on Facebook. It's called The Gentle Mama.
Okay.
And really it's more, our youngest is adopted and he's had a lot of struggles along the way.
Sure.
So I follow this because it gives me a lot of really good ideas and sometimes just that inspiration that you need. But one that I think held true, and I just read it the other day, and it was about just children in general. And I actually have it sitting here. It says, our children are little heroes too, missing their grandparents, extended family, friends, and school, lack of normal routines, loss of structure to their day, parents who are stressed, worried, scared, and just different, overhearing talk and news without an understanding of what they hear. So then it says, give your little hero more cuddles, more one-on-one playtime, and an extra dose of patience and forgiveness. And I think that that's been really important. Our youngest really struggles with not having the normal schedule that he was used to following at preschool. So that's just really hit home. And I just, like I said, I printed it out and I've had it sitting here just because I feel like it's super important to remember. And it's probably important for everybody, not just people that have, kids that struggle, but any parent.
Yeah. If there's any way you can, I don't know, scan or email me that, I'd love to add it to this week's post that I put out there. I like that a lot, so appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as we wrap this up, any advice for your fellow steamers out there?
I think it's important to remember that this is just one little glimpse of our world, and we will get through this. However that may look on the other side, we will get through it and we'll do it together. And hopefully we come out stronger on the other side. But I think it's important to know that we just have to be supportive of each other and reach out and help each other as much as we can, and know that we're all going to make mistakes and that's okay. Nobody's expected to be perfect, but we will get through it together.
Yeah. Excellent advice. Well, Aimee, I appreciate the time today, and enjoy the rest of Wednesday. I think that's what day it is, and Thursday and Friday, and happy Mother's Day as well.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing this.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
You bet. Talk to you later.
Bye.